Unbox, my name is John, and today, right on schedule, Samsung has officially launched the newest stars in their galaxy. We're talking about the S7 and the S7 Edge. Now, these two new phones were just literally announced in Barcelona, Spain, but while we're not in Mobile World Congress right now, we've managed to score 2 review units to play with. And while the two phones don't really look different from the previous generation, Samsung has actually put in a couple of new features and brought back some old ones as well in these two new flagships. So join us as we take our first look at the Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge. Samsung built a lot of momentum with their recent flagship releases, starting with the S6 and S6 Edge. The phone signaled a new design direction for the company, though at the expense of some of the features that made the S series great. While Samsung has decided to iterate rather than innovate with the new design of the flagships, the trade-off is that they brought back some of the features that were cut when they initially released the S6 and S6 Edge. Before we begin, let's take a look at the specs of the S7 and S7 Edge. We're not going to lie, the Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge look a lot like their older brothers. Look at the two devices from the front and it's not hard to see why. The phones look virtually unchanged, though there are small differences in the design. The corners are slightly rounder and the fingerprint scanner has been slightly enlarged to facilitate faster unlocks. Things are a little different when you flip the phones over. The backs of the S7 and S7 Edge flow into the frame of the phones, which makes it easier to hold onto them, especially when you're using it one-handed. The design is very similar to the Note 5, and we're happy to see that particular design change in the new flagships. A not so subtle change in the new flagships is the flatter camera module on the back, which has been a major pain point with the previous generation. The phones now sit flush when you place them on a flat surface, which is an improvement over the previous design. One of the most welcome changes to come from the newest phones is the return of the micro SD card. A lot of you made sure to let Samsung know how big of a mistake it was to remove the micro SD storage when the S6 and S6 Edge was released, and the company knows it. There's a catch though, the micro SD card is shared between the nano SIM slot since the phone uses a hybrid SIM slot. But most of you really won't mind. Another feature that's making comeback is water resistance. Yes, the Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge is IP68 certified, meaning the phones will survive being dunked in the water for 30 minutes. Samsung doesn't recommend you taking the new phones out swimming with you, which isn't surprising since water resistance is probably intended for the phones to survive minor spills and not a day out in the beach. One thing that you may have noticed with the new phones is the size difference of the two. Samsung's gone ahead and made the S7 Edge noticeably bigger than the S7, which is a good move since there's now a clear difference between the two devices aside from the Edge display. The S7 and S7 Edge still use Samsung's Super AMOLED display technology with Gorilla Glass 4 and QHD resolution, but now there's a distinct difference in the size of the display. 5.1 inches for the S7 and 5.5 inches for the S7 Edge. Battery capacity is also quite different. The S7 has a 3000 mAh battery, while the S7 Edge has a bigger 3600 mAh capacity. While other companies are racing to stuff in as many megapixels in the cameras of their phones as humanly possible, Samsung is going the other route. The camera of the S7 and S7 Edge are just 12 megapixels, which account for the smaller camera module on the back. That doesn't mean that the S7 and S7 Edge have less capable cameras. It's the opposite, actually. Samsung's gone with dual pixel technology, which utilizes an overall bigger sensor and bigger individual pixel size than typical smartphones. This means brighter photos and better low-light performance compared to the previous generation. Take a look at the comparison shots that we took with the S6 Edge and the S7 below. The Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge will come in either Snapdragon 820 or the new octa-core processor that runs at 2.6 GHz paired with a Mali 28880 GPU. While Samsung did not specify what octa-core chip that is, it's obviously their new Exynos 8890 processor that's paired with 4 GB of RAM and, depending on the territory that you live in, up to 128 GB of storage. In the Philippines, Samsung is only offering the 32 GB version of the phone, though the micro SD slot supports cards up to 200 GB. The unit that we played with was running the Exynos chip, and as expected, it flew through our synthetic benchmark test, though only a full review will reveal if the phone proves capable enough during day-to-day use. So that has been our first hands-on for the Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge. Remember, these two phones will be available March 19 for $34,990 for the Galaxy S7 and $39,990 for the Galaxy S7 Edge. So if you like that video, please like, subscribe, comment, ask any questions about these two new phones, and we actually have the information. We'll give it to you in the comments below. Thank you very much, Unbox. Peace out.